Have you ever thought that what job you do doesn't really matter? The key is to be a good person. Today, let's talk about that. As May stepped out of the room, he felt a wave of inspiration hit him, with Moses walking towards him like a beacon of light. May, eager to attract Moses' attention, deliberately bumped into him. Moses turned, and May thought, got him. But Moses just wanted his clothes. Moses handed May a patch for his skirt hole. What a good guy. May was grateful, but secretly plotting how to get him to empty his pockets. After a hearty meal, classmates rushed home, and May purposely told Moses his address, thinking to himself, now you have to escort me home. However, Moses seemed a bit dense, only knowing it wasn't along his route, completely missing May's hints. May pulled out a novel and fabricated a story about having a heart condition, claiming he'd faint from excitement. What a drama. May thought, Moses, you really trust me, huh? Using your kindness is just too easy. Being brought home by Moses was great, but the state of the house knocked May's image dead a peg. What a tragedy. When May woke up, he pretended nothing happened and began pouring out his tragic family story. What a good actor. With a dramatic flair, he spun tales of his gambling parents and his tragic life. May's setup had people both crying and laughing. Moses' parents were also in a tough spot. Of course, they could end up far away. Who would believe it? But May was playing right into that human. The more exaggerated the story, the more Moses believed it. May staying at Moses exploited his weakness. Moses gave May a room, and May stepped in like an explorer, rummaging through everything to spy on Moses' life. Discovering Moses' innocence in his diary, May felt a stir and decided to test him, sneaking over to Moses' couch. To his surprise, May saw colorful paper caps on Moses' toes, and he thought, this kid is more fun than I imagined. Your pajamas and socks match perfectly. May teased, while Moses replied seriously, my girlfriend knitted these. Moses explained, saying she quit after halfway, leaving behind a unique fashion statement. Hearing the sleepwalking explanation, May secretly chuckled, thinking it was just a cover. Moses really didn't get men. And Moses did sleepwalk for real, even using his sleeve to wipe his gear. What a scene. Having been around the nightlife, May saw through men's hypocrisy. When he met Moses, he couldn't believe such innocence existed. After waiting all night, Moses showed no interest the next morning, waking May up to go to work. What a disappointment. Moses handed May a bunch of little animals to wash, exhausting him, but he was still daydreaming about marrying Moses for big bucks. After work, May bought a meal box for Moses, treating himself to an expensive ballon. Now that's how you spend money wisely. Suddenly, May's sixth sense tingled with a disturbance behind him, triggering his alertness. Turns out it was an old acquaintance, Shibai Hyun. This guy had the audacity to come back. What a fool. May thought this guy had quite the knack for trouble. He should have known better than to deal with those lunatics. So funny. Shibai Hyun owed $1 million in gambling debts, yet still wanted to get back together with May. What a nerve. While fleeing, he robbed a passerby of their pet dog to keep track of May. What a dumb move. May confronted him about his intentions, and Shibai Hyun flipped the question, asking what May was doing at the pet hospital, trying to catch each other out in a comedy of. Shibai Hyun held May's secret over him, threatening to spill his nightclub stories. May felt the pressure and had to comply. May secretly resolved to meet at 7 a.m. tomorrow, thinking, nobody's getting an easy ride here. When the day arrived, Shibai Hyun shamelessly demanded $5,000 from May, leaving him speechless. May told Shibai Hyun he was at the pet shop just to repay debts, saying gangsters were unreliable. But Shibai Hyun slammed the table and stood up, ready to declare war on Moses. Now that's a classic twist. Shibai Hyun claimed if Moses didn't cough up $100,000, he would go to the police. An epic showdown was looming. May rushed back, realizing he had made a big mistake. Shibai Hyun was coming. May quickly fabricated a story about his parents finding loan sharks, which completely terrified Moses. He never saw that coming. Moses panicked and asked May, does your boyfriend really have connections to the mafia? Of course it's fake. Where would I find a mafia boyfriend? Shibai Hyun arrived right on time, enveloped in the dim light. May thought the show was about to start. May instructed Moses to pretend to be the big boss while he improvised the rest. What a move. May asked for their intentions, but to his surprise, the other party was too embarrassed to speak, making for an incredibly funny moment. Just then, a friend walked in carrying a big bag, and a foot poked out. Talk about comic relief. He turned out to be a drunken girlfriend being carried home, and May thought, this trick is just too clever. Hume finally couldn't say anything, but Moses quietly pulled out $10,000 now. That was unexpected. May was left speechless. This whole scam was taken seriously by Moses, making him realize just how incredibly innocent he really was. May quickly pulled out a toy gun from his pants, trying to lighten the mood, but it only made things funner. Just then, Rui and his friend returned, and in a panic, Hume pointed a knife at them. Things were escalating dramatically. Moses tried to threaten the other guy with his gun, but accidentally dropped it. A tense moment indeed.